Okay, let's talk about the skincare ingredient that is everywhere right now, PDRN. You've probably seen it all over your social media feeds. It's gone totally viral. But what is it really? And more importantly, does it actually work? Well, we're going to get into all of it. Right, let's just get it out of the way. The big headline, the thing everyone's whispering about, is salmon sperm on your face. And yeah, that's kind of where this whole story starts, but trust me, it's a lot more complex and scientific than it sounds. And I mean, this trend has just exploded. You can't scroll through TikTok or Instagram without seeing products like this one from Medicube. They're all over the place, and they're all promising these incredible, skin rebuilding results. And it is not just one brand, not by a long shot. You've got others like VT's PDRN Essence jumping on this trend. The market is just flooded with them right now, and the buzz is huge. You've got Ritual, Rejuvenax, the list goes on. And honestly, it's really easy to get lost in all the marketing claims. So, you know what? Today, we're going to cut through all that noise. We're going to look past the hype and figure out what the science actually has to say. Okay, so to really understand what's in these new creams and serums, we have to rewind a bit. We've got to go back to the original, the OG, the medically studied version of PDRN. This is where it all began.
So what even is PDRN? Well, the full name is polydeoxyribonucleotide, which is a total mouthful. It's basically just a fancy scientific way of saying they're tiny fragments of DNA. And for a long, long time, these fragments have been sourced from salmon or trout sperm and used in actual medicine. We're talking serious stuff, like helping to heal diabetic foot ulcers and skin grafts.
Okay, this is where it gets really cool. How does this stuff actually work inside your skin? Well, it has this 1-2 punch. First, it uses something called the salvage pathway. Think of it like giving your skin cells a perfect little DNA building kit. It provides all the raw materials they need to repair themselves. Then, second, it stimulates a special receptor, the A2 receptor. This is like flicking a switch that tells your skin to calm down, reduce inflammation, and get to work regenerating. And that two-step process, it leads to some seriously impressive results that have actually been proven in clinical studies. We're talking faster wound healing, improving wrinkles and pores, reducing scars, even helping with hair growth. But, and this is a huge but, you have to notice the key word here, injectable. All of these incredible benefits were seen in studies where the PDRN was injected directly into the skin by a doctor.
So that begs the question, right? How did this powerful, in-office medical treatment end up in a bottle on our bathroom shelves?
Well, as soon as the hype train left the station, the beauty industry did what it does best. It adapted. It created 2 whole new categories for us at home. You've got your topical PDRN creams, and you have this new thing called vegan PDRN.
And this vegan PDRN, it's really just DNA fragments pulled from all sorts of places. We're talking ginseng, rose, green tea, rice, papaya, even a microorganism called lactobacillus. The whole idea is that these plant-based sources are supposed to mimic the effects of the original salmon stuff.
And that brings us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? Can a cream you rub on your face at home really do the same thing as a needle in a doctor's office? Let's break it down. All right, this chart shows the difference perfectly. The easiest way to think about it is like this. The topical creams you buy, they use smaller, shorter DNA chains. They work on the very top layer of your skin, the epidermis. So they're kind of like getting a package delivered to your front porch. They're great for surface-level stuff, like hydration and supporting your skin barrier. But the injectables, those use longer, heavier DNA chains. That's like a direct deposit straight into your bank account. It goes deep into the dermis, where it can actually kickstart collagen production and true regeneration. So here's the bottom line, the most important takeaway. Topical creams can absolutely be good for your skin's surface, but they just cannot do the same heavy lifting, the deep regenerative work that an injectable treatment can. It's just a different league.
Okay, so we've covered the creams, but what about that other new player, vegan PDRN? Is there any real proof behind it, or is this just a case of great marketing?
Well, I think this quote from Dr. Rachel Ho says a lot. She says, "For vegan PDRN skincare, evidence is even more scarce." And when an expert says the evidence is scarce, that definitely gets your attention.
What little research we do have is, well, it's very early stage. So, for example, a study on ginseng showed it could activate that same A2A receptor we mentioned before, and another one on lactobacillus showed some antioxidant potential. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. These studies were done in vitro. That means they were done in a lab, in a petri dish, or maybe on a 3D skin model. This was not tested on actual people's faces.
Which brings us to this big, important number. As of right now, how many published clinical trials are there on topical vegan PDRN in humans? The answer is 0. A big, fat 0, not 1.
And this is a really critical point to understand. There's a huge logic jump that a lot of marketing makes. Just because one ingredient, let's say ginseng, shows some potential in a lab setting, you absolutely cannot assume that PDRN from rose or green tea or rice will do the same thing. That's not how science works. Every single source needs its own separate research to prove it does anything at all.
All right, we've gone through the salmon PDRN, the topical creams, the vegan alternatives. So what's the bottom line here? What do you really need to know when you're thinking about buying one of these products?
Let's break it down into a simple cheat sheet. Number 1, the injectable salmon PDRN or PN has the most science behind it for real deep skin repair. That's the gold standard. Number 2, the topical PDRN creams, they're good for surface stuff, think hydration, barrier support, but they are not going deep. And number 3, vegan PDRN. It's a really cool, promising new idea for sure, but right now, the hype is miles ahead of the actual human evidence.
So really, it all boils down to this one question you can ask yourself about any viral trend. When you're spending your hard-earned money, are you buying the promise or are you buying the proof?